Welcome, in front of me is a OnePlus 8 and today I'll go over a brief unboxing along with an overview of the device. So getting started. So this is the box that it comes in. It's, well, kind of unusual. It's super long. If I would stand it up straight, it's just out of the camera, and just in comparison, this is the Mate 20 Pro, which is roughly the same size as the device. So you can clearly see that the box is, well, a little bit bigger than that. But getting straight into it, nothing in here as you can see, just empty. So let's set that on the side. Then we got the phone itself, as you can see, with never settle, their motto. Taking out the phone, I'm gonna set it to the side for now. Actually, let's just first take it out of here. There we go. Now the device is already set, so we won't have to go to the setup process. But taking this out, and here you get basically the paperwork that no one really cares. There's some stickers too, if you care about that, although I wouldn't say that they're on par with, for instance, something like Apple stickers, if they still include them. Some more paperwork, and some cardboard that you can take out just for, I guess, color. Oh well, just throw this to the side. Then we get a nice case with also the Never Settle printed on it, like a matte finish. So that's kind of nice. I like it. Then we get, of course, the typical OnePlus cable and their amazing colors. As you can see, neatly wrapped with these plastic clips, and their 30-watt brick. So there it is. And that's basically it. There's nothing else in the box. Now, one thing right off the bat that I will say, the device has no headphone jack, as I can see, and there is neither a headphones nor any kind of adapter for headphones. So I guess they expect you to already use the wireless headphones that you probably already have or should have in their mind, I guess. So let's just set that on, hold that to the side, and go to the device. Now, before I actually jump to it, show you how the cover looks like. That's clean, nice. I actually like this, so it looks really nice, honestly. Not sure if it will look as nice on the camera, but for these kind of cheap looking cases, this looks really, really nice. And actually doesn't add much bulk to the device as well, so you won't have the feeling that you're carrying a brick now, like some cases basically do. So just keep it on for, actually, because I'm gonna go through the overview of like how it looks like, I better just take it off now. So there we go. So that's the device. Let's just bring up the brightness. So there we go. So the display itself is a 6.55 inches. It's close to the cinematic aspect ratio, so it's basically a 20 by 9. That means basically when you're watching movies, as an example, you will almost, and I mean almost, have no black bars, and I will show that later on through like YouTube, just so you can see how that looks like. But apart from the size, it's basically a 1080p display, so it's 1080 by 2400 with a 402 ppi. Not the highest pixel per inch, but honestly, I don't think anything above 1080p is needed for smartphones. Some people say, oh, the text is crisp and whatever. You don't need 4K display. Probably you're still using a 1080p monitor at home, and that thing like behind me is a 1080p and it looks okay. So shrinking that to the size of a phone, I don't see any need to go above that. But that's just personal opinion and my opinion. So your mileage may vary in that, in those opinions. So Apart from that, it's a 88.7% screen to body ratio, which seems a little bit low comparing to some other devices that approach like 91%, but honestly you barely see that difference. And I'll just open up something that is light. You can see that basically its entire display, there is much in terms of not much in terms of bezels. They're barely visible, and you also get this semi nice rounded corners, so it really feels like the screen is way bigger than that, and you don't get to feel those bezels, especially when you're holding the device. And then moving on, you get a 80, or what am I saying, 80, a 48 megapixel main shooter. So if I lock this and flip it over, so you get the main 48 megapixel shooter. Then you get also a 16 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel macro, and all that turns out to basically be able to shoot max 4K 60 frames. And they also have some kind of setting for like the cinematic recording, so you can record at 60 4K with the 21:9 aspect ratio, so it looks like a movie basically, and it looks really nice, honestly. Also, apart from recording in 4K, it records obviously in 1080p, also at the 30 and 60 frame rates, but it also has a slow motion of 240, so you can get some slow motion action in this as well, so that's thumbs up. And also, sticking with the camera setups, it has auto HDR, so you can shoot that basically footage and it will automatically adjust to the sun blasting straight into the camera and basically equalize that really nicely. And it comes with a gyro EIS, so you have nice image stabilization on there. Then jumping back to the front, at the front you have this tiny little camera, as you can see right here, and it's just a 16 megapixel wide sensor that shoots only at 1080p 30 frames, and also has gyro IES. Yeah, so that would be all in terms of the camera. Then when it comes down to additional stuff, so you have under display fingerprint. Let's go to it. I'm actually curious how quick it works. I haven't tried it yet. So let's go to security, fingerprint. Let's go with pattern. Oops. Whatever, don't care. Next, cool. So I'd say that the position seems to be nice. Hello, can you scan? Hello? Why isn't it not scanning? You have to really press it into the display. If you just touch it, it doesn't really want to do anything. There we go. So let's see how quick that works. That seems to be trying to see how quick I can get it. So you have to hold it for about like half a second or less. But it works really quickly, honestly. So yeah, the fingerprint works really nicely. Not as quick as I think in the previous version, so the OnePlus, what was it, 7 Pro, but still it's really quick. Then moving on, just the basic of the device, you have the Gorilla Glass front and back. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging on this one. The Pro version does have wireless charging if that's your jam, so you can go up to Pro. But you have the glass back with no wireless charging and aluminum frame, which I believe is the same for the Pro version, apart from the wireless charging. And when it comes down to the charging itself, you have the 30-watt charger, and they basically advertise to charge to half, basically 50%, and 22 minutes. And that's a 4300 milliamp battery, so a fairly hefty one as well. it seems fairly good, but honestly, it seems like older devices way back like a couple years ago were able to charge it quicker. So it's not necessarily the fastest charger out there. But still, I mean, 50% in 20 minutes seems good enough for me. And yeah, now probably the main selling point, in my opinion, of this device would be the display. But it comes with the 90 Hz refresh rate, and if I go into display, you can see that. There we go. And advanced, and there it is. Screen refresh rate you have right here. By default, it's set to 90. You can drop it to 60, but honestly, I wouldn't do that. It will consume more battery at 90, but the benefit of like the smoothness that you get is way worth it, in my opinion. So that's one thing that I literally love in this device. That is not to say that other devices don't have it. In 2020, we have phones popping up left and right with the 90 refresh rate. So, and even Samsung's have with 120. And the Pro version of this, so the OnePlus 8 Pro, has 120, so more than this one. But in terms of it, 90 seems to be already really good. And what else is there to say? The device comes with several different colors. So the one that I have right now, it's the Glacier Green, as you can see right here, but you also have the Onyx Black, Interstellar Glow, and Polar Silver. So in a way, to simplify this, Polar Silver, it just seems like a matte silver. Interstellar Glow is kind of like a rainbow color almost. You imagine unicorn barf, that's basically I think how it looks like. Although I only seen it on photos, so I can't really say how it looks like in reality when the light bounces off of it, because their devices do have that thing, that interaction with light basically. And then this is the Glacier Green, like I said, and Onyx Black is just kind of like this really glassy finish, almost mirror black. So yeah, that's basically if I would explain it in the simplest way, so you can get a good idea on how it looks like without actually having the phone. So yeah, and then as you probably already seen a couple of the things about the device, you have no headphone jack, which is kind of a shame, but then it's already 2020, so I assume majority of people do have normal headphones, wireless ones, especially that they cost barely anything nowadays. So on the right side you have the power button alongside the switch for the silent, and actually has two. I would say you have silent, vibrate, and ring. So it's a triple switch, so that's really nice. I would say I really love those switches. Then top you only have the microphone for the loudspeaker. You can get to see it. Then on the left side, antenna band, not microphone, but the volume rockers right here. Another antenna band. Back, just a couple markings, logo, cameras in the middle. And yeah, that's basically about it. And then the front, as you've seen already, you have the camera and also the super hidden away speaker grill for when you're taking calls, and hopefully you can get to see it. It's basically not even getting into the display. I'm not sure if it's even visible on the camera. Let me try to. You can get to see these kind of perforations right here. That's basically all it takes. That's the speaker grill. So now, pricing of this device, it depends on the storage, if you're wondering. So this model in front of me is just the base version, 120 gigs or 28 gigs with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And before you decide which one you want to pick, keep in mind they do not have expandable storage. So what you buy in terms of gigabytes of storage is what you will have, and no way of expanding it. So that's a shame in my opinion. I personally really like to have storage expansions, especially if you have up to like 1 terabyte nowadays, so this would have been a real good addition to this. But I guess you're stuck with max 256 gigabytes, which honestly in 2020 seems a little bit low. But yeah, and the lowest price you can get this in terms of well, this preset standard price is the 599 euros. I think the 256 with 12 gigabytes of RAM comes 100 euros more, so 699. So I would probably advise on that if your budget will allow it. Basically only on the fact that you cannot expand the storage, and if this device is to serve you for like a year or two, or maybe even longer, and this time like you might fill it up with photos, and just the idea that it can shoot in 4K on this phone will take up probably hefty amount of storage. And just to get into the camera, I'll show something really quickly. So if we go into videos and settings, video resolution, right here how much storage it will take per 30 seconds. So the 1080p 30 and 60 frames are just respectable, 75 megabytes to 150, so per minute basically twice as much, 300 and 150, so half of each other. But then if we go to 4K, just 30, you can see that is already higher than even 1080p, which it seems like they do some compression, because I think it should be roughly around like 4 times bigger. But yeah, if you go to the cinematic 4K 60, which is a 21:9 aspect ratio, it goes to 375 gigabytes, or not gigabytes, megabytes per 30 seconds. So you're taking almost half a gigabyte per minute of recording. So that doesn't seem to be a lot of storage that you'll have, even if you go with the 256. This will fill up really quickly if you like to record 4K footage. So kind of bad. And I was also gonna show you the 21:9 if you were wondering about that. So let's quickly go into YouTube. There it is. And I will need to connect to a network first, so give me a second. Let me just mute it so there is no copyright strikes, obviously. Oh, come on, load. Let me just quickly close and try again so it actually loads. Let's just quickly anything looking good here. How's the trailer? That one. There we go. So as you can see, it cuts right now a bit more, but you can zoom it in and set max brightness. There we go. So you can barely get to see these bars right here. So it cuts a tiny bit of the display. That's because the display is 20:9, not 21:9. So that's just a leftover of the display. But it's almost as close as any device can get, or has gotten, I would say. I mean, you can make a 21:9 display. Sony did. So if you want a 21:9 so you don't have any black bars, probably that would be a better option. But this is, in my opinion, really nice experience. So yeah, let's leave this. So yeah, and apart from that, you have the stock Android, or as stock as you can get, along with the OnePlus's add-ons. So in my opinion, this is probably one of the best experiences you can get on Android. You have almost none of the crap that you want or you don't want. So this is almost clean. But it has additions and like customizations that, for instance, the stock Android doesn't have, but you have it right here. And these are like really nice additions, so they don't feel like it's cluttering your system with just some trash, basically unwanted apps and stuff like that. It has the things that you will find useful, and hands down, in my opinion, this is the best experience you can get. But yeah, so highly advise this device. I might be a little bit biased, but I personally love the OnePlus and what they're doing with the devices. So yeah, that basically would be the unboxing along with a brief overview of the device. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.